Hey guys, back here at the shop today. Just gonna touch base with the worms and see how they're doing. It's been a couple weeks now, and we in my last video we moved everybody to the one bin and started a new bin for them. That's going well. They've made a new home in the new bin, and now the finished compost bin is already really dadgum close to being ready to start finishing it up. So let's take a look. So let's start with the paper, the one that was, this was just paper whenever we seen it last. And now they've of course have turned all that paper to dirt. And I've got just paper on top. That's kind of how I leave it. There's with some paper on top, just kind of like just as a little bit of a cover for them. Gives them something to hide in. So they have turned that whole container of paper into dirt, and this isn't entirely all paper. I had a little 2-gallon bucket that I had some tomatoes planted in, and once the tomato plant died, I went ahead and pulled the tomato out and dumped that material. Is kind of a peat mossy type material. Dumped it in here as well, and so the worms will be processing that as well. And I've had this sitting up in there for a couple weeks, and that has allowed a lot more worms to come in and enter through the bottom of this bucket and join the party in the food bin. So that's what this one is currently, the food bin. And we'll spread that stuff back out on top. And it's got, for food in here right now, it's got a head of cabbage that I've ripped all the leaves off of and kind of pulled them apart into smaller pieces so they can start breaking down. This is an okra that, boy, the okra takes forever. Okra is not the best worm food, and it just takes forever to break down. And so basically it's just a bunch of leafy material, Brussels sprout leaves that are chopped up. And let's see, I put a cucumber in here maybe 4 or 5 days ago. I'm sure it's gone. And then of course just the paper and paper towel and shredded paper and just some paper cover. I kind of ripped the paper into these leaf-sized bits just to give the worms some cover, some protection from. They don't need protection from anything, but that's in the wild they would use the leaves as protection, and they do protect them from the light, I guess. So that's what that's for. Let's go check on the finished compost bin. It's already looking really good. There's a little bit of food bits still left in here that they've got to eat, but otherwise this is really good finished compost. So another week or so for them to finish eating the little scraps of stuff and a couple paper scraps that I'd thrown in here a couple weeks ago, and they will be ready to start moving these guys into this bin here. Of course, when I set that in here, they kind of move up on their own. but some of them are stubborn, and I have to kind of work toward, in the last week or so, kind of use the bait cup to get them out of here. Sorry about the noise of the wash machine. I decided to wash some of our shop towels today, and so that's what the noise is. So that's the finished compost bin. It's looking really good. Another couple weeks and we'll be able to start a new bin and move all this into a save container. And my worms are looking a lot better since I started feeding them more. They just they really started growing quick. Well, what I've started, because I know we're coming up on needing a new bin, I started shredding the paper already and saving all the paper in this bucket. But what I decided to do the day before yesterday is I went ahead and wetted it down, and I threw 200 worms in there. I did count them as I put them in there, and I got 200 worms in there just to get kind of a head start on the shredded paper. And I also put some leaf bits, some Brussels sprout leaf bits, and a little bit of grass clippings, just so they would have some food to eat while they're getting the paper started. So we'll keep an eye on that, see how that goes, see how 200 worms, how much processing of this material 200 worms can do. So right now it's a bucket full of paper. You can see on the sides that they have begun the process, I guess. So we'll see how much processing 200 worms can do. That's a lot of paper. It's really dense in there. It's hard to really get an idea of how much paper that is in that bucket, because I smashed it in there pretty good to keep filling the bucket. So we'll see. That'll be an interesting little project. I don't know, little project to see how many, see how well they can process that, and 200 worms can process that paper in 2 or 3 weeks, however long it takes for these guys up here to get this compost finished. And then we'll start moving all these worms into here so that we can clean out this good material and save it. And then we'll do just like we did last time, dump this bucket into here, and then start a fresh bin in this bucket. So that's the update for now, and I'll keep you posted on this little bucket full of paper and see how it goes. See how much work 200 worms can do. Alright guys, we'll see you next time.